That's crazy. You've never heard of Doge.
I didn't. I didn't say that. Let me get a recording. Yeah. So, how was the day?
Every state, every county, every actually me personally, I need a Doge. You know what I mean? Come and be like, you've been spending some.
I took a big doge today. I mean,
You've
how
been
was the
spending a
day?
lot of money on Zyn, Dustin. What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Gotta eliminate the waste. I see you've been, buying a little bit of, I'll stop. We're on the internet.
Yeah, let's
What's
do
up?
that.
How are you?
Oh, I'm okay, man. Just chugging along. Kind of, I don't know. Just fucking going.
If you were in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like at what part in those movies do you think you would be? Does that make sense?
Yeah, like when they're in Mordor, like climbing up that mountain, like about ready to go in to drop the ring off, like, oh fuck, like I gotta go in and do that, That's where I'm at. I like,
Because life is, and I'll let you go, but life is a series of Lord of the Rings nested inside of Lord of the Rings, right? Because you start back over.
sure, yeah. I mean, you
They're
can
right
equate
there.
it,
You're like,
sure.
oh shit, I thought we fixed that, like, oh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I feel. Just I don't know, man. They're just like I've realized that mentally I'm the illest, you know? So
like
like
like Beastie Boys.
I mean there's a pun in there, but I just I just see a lot of stuff, man, and I'm really working on it and just there's a lot of stuff that like I've seen that I like there's a lot of things that I'm remembering.
Your volume for some reason is like, is it? Sorry, man. Keep going. I'll just turn my stuff down here. It's like, but
Is
you
it too is
you
it
were.
too high?
I think the input, if we could bring it down, I've got this like limits me probably in
What
the.
about now?
Oh yeah, that's great. So you were saying. Sorry to interrupt you. So you were saying.
Let's see. Low fate background noises. How about now? Sound good? Sound
Well,
good?
talking your normal.
I'm talking at my normal. How's it sound?
That sounds amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
hitting the sound bar really, real nice. Just fucking real good.
Oh, just chugging, man. Just chugging along. Just hung out with Sybil tonight. Hung out with
Oh yeah, that's little Sibs.
Good. Good. She's, uh, she's a little woman and she's opinionated and she's got like a whole nother family and life, that I don't really know much about. So like, there's, it's hard. It's hard, but she's good.
Well, that's
Um,
your daughter, man. You know, she can't run away from you.
well,
That's
for sure. But I'm just trying to do like figure out some better routines and do some better stuff. Spend more time with her. But that's going good. Works
yeah,
good.
sweet.
I've been going to Sheridan, Ranchester, Dayton this week. That's been okay. Long drive.
Are you finding the best breakfast burrito? Where the local burger with they make those grilled onions that are super nice.
No, I don't eat out. I don't eat out. That's you get fat and you spend a lot of money when you do that. So I always pack my own lunch and shit. But
I,
every now, I mean, I know where all the
what, I,
spots
what,
are.
I, what I would argue is that you're right. You're 100% right. You don't have to get what me and you would get most of the time. You get like It's like you get like what's that town? Ranchester?
Ranchester, yeah.
Yeah, fucking right, Ranchester. Like that there's gotta be some biddy who's working tables that's been there that is literally that town embodied in a person. You know, so you get that experience, which is kind of fun, like does that make sense? Like
Um, there's quaint little places in Ranchester with nice people for sure.
I found like traveling around the state with Deke, doing that stuff. Like that was where we made where that's where you find like the flavor of the town, and you know all the stuff about the town, but like, people, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what I do for work, like um, like taking care of all the schools and stuff. Like you get to interact. I mean, a lot of people in those little towns work at those schools and stuff, and then like you go to all the local shop, like, interact with all the local contractors and go to the local stores and everybody's always like, "Oh, are you the boys taking care of the high school? We heard that you guys fixed those boilers up real good." And you're like, "Yeah, thanks. I
Oh,
did."
don't you know?
There
All
was
right,
yeah, there's a lot of people from Wisconsin and Minnesota up here, fucking, you know, these these pilgrims as my buddy Paul would call them, but they're good folk. They're good folk, you know. Pilgrims though.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of Wisconsin and Minnesota and a lot of
Minnesotan. I,
sure.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
They've got that thing. It's like the opposite of twang. It's like what's the opposite of twang? It's like oh, what is that?
I don't know. I mean the opposite of twang, like Canadian.
Yeah, but the word twang is like a fun word. That when you speak to like somebody from the South, especially like a cute girl who's got that little twang in there, like I don't know what that is. It's like blown tire. Wooten. Anyway,
Well,
that's
well,
cool though, man. Like, traveling around, at least you're, maybe seeing some stuff that you wouldn't have seen doing the exact same thing in the same little cubicle, you know?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm going to like. It's cool that I get to like go to like Ranchester and Dayton and Sheridan and Buffalo and Gillette and Newcastle and Sundance and like I go to Riverton a little bit. Like,
If you're in Riverton, look up the Starks, man. Earl died, just
yeah,
that crazy, I'll, it's just wild. Like somebody gets diagnosed with something and like a week later they're gone. That's just life though, I guess at least got a little time, but I saw Sharon came down on Mother's Day because I can't remember her son's name. Uh, you know, that guy, he's that guy. We grew up.
it's your church, Dustin. I mean,
Well, when Sharon was there, like I grew up without you around. Anyway, Sharon came down for Mother's Day because she wanted to see, the people she knew again, and so her son. I'll remember it when I go to right before I go to sleep. It'll hit me. Um, anyway, don't do that. Whatever. Sharon's you're one of those like widows, that you kind of like. I don't know. It's like I shoveled Sherry Griffin, Sherry Griffin.
yeah, the Griffins.
Yeah, she kind of fell down some steps, so I I don't even know why I'm telling you. I like to like not talk about this. But I shoveled her. It snowed a couple times. I went over and started shoveling. It's just nice. Anyway, Riverton. Other than that, not really a big fan. I mean,
No,
it's
Riverton's a shithole, dude. Um, uh,
what
uh, Lander's nice, but Rock Springs is a shithole too. Like I mean,
fuck that, dude.
Rock Springs is a shithole, dude. I mean, I'm like every, I don't know. I've lived a lot of places.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're just all Gillette all day long.
No, I'm not saying Gillette doesn't have its shit to it too, but they definitely have, have a different ethos in Gillette than they do in Rock Springs.
Yeah, but Rock Springs doesn't have an ethos. Like there's a
That's the problem. That's the problem. Like that.
there's a bunch of them, and you can find dirtbag, you can find methy, you can
You,
find
yeah, you can do
sort of
that. You can find
white
that
trash.
anywhere, any town in Wyoming. You can find all of that.
But you get a like certain flavor from like the seventh biggest county in America. You know,
I'm not talking about the
the
county.
county
I'm
that has
talking about. I'm talking about the town
the largest how do you call it, like
landmass.
land, what's the word for when it's not fenced, like contiguous or something
Sure.
like that. I don't
Um,
know.
I like Sweetwater County, man. I just like, and Rock Springs is fine. Like, there's some great people in Rock Springs, but I just being from there, man. Like, I like living here better, to be honest with you. If I have to live between one of the two, I wouldn't choose to live in Gillette. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's a fine place, but I wouldn't choose to live here if I didn't have my daughter here. You know that, like,
Yeah, let's like kind of backtrack from this because I love that you're doing that and that you're kind of like figuring out that town in like a cool way. You know,
yeah. I mean, I'm just like,
I'll take my heels into the first take on some shit and then never really try to like get into, oh,
well, then
there's some
I
other stuff.
I spend a lot of time in a lot of other towns. Like I spent a lot of time in Cheyenne. I spent a lot of time in Casper. I spent a lot of time in Sheridan. I spent a lot of time in Buffalo. Spent a lot of time in Newcastle. Like
What
spent
else?
a lot. Like I like. I just like. They all have their flavor for sure. A lot of time in Rock Springs, but they all have their flavor. Like I spent a lot of time in Pinedale too, and Pinedale's sweet. I'd live in Pinedale. Like I'd probably live in Cheyenne or Pinedale, but Lander's pretty cool. Lander'd be a cool place to live, especially if you're like a 25-year-old Catholic dude, because I think it's an all girls Catholic college there. You know,
Such a random. Yeah, I mean that would work.
or if you're like a hippie, the Knowles headquarters there.
Just like
Aren't
a
they hippies?
really attractive, kind of like cool 41-year-old could probably pull that too. I
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to
don't know.
do.
I'm just kidding.
I think I think
I mean, like, there could be a 21-year-old woman out there that I could talk to about life, but I doubt it. You know what I mean?
20,
Like
20 years.
to have a relationship with somebody that much younger than me seems implausible just from the fact that you would have to explain everything and all the time. You know, like you have to walk through, eat. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's
What's
not.
the youngest? What's the youngest person? What's the youngest age? What's the biggest age gap you've dated? That's something you're comfortable divulging?
Probably like 8 years. I was 34, 26.
So
And
not much. You didn't need to explain much.
you know, um, what about you, dude? I mean, I don't know. The other way, like I've never really messed with
Uh,
the elderberries.
I think 14 years.
You dated a 14-year-old?
Oh, that was a good
14
one.
years? That's pretty. That's I'd say you're reaching my outer limits currently.
I don't know.
What would that be? Yeah, like 25. I mean, I've met some 24-year-olds that are just like, I guess my vibe is more like, are you kind of baked into the person? Like, are you mature, like, as far as like you're kind of the core you, or are you still just kind of like not, you don't really understand like what's,
Chicks,
you know?
chicks are cooked quicker than dudes. So
Yeah, dude.
like it really depends, you know, like I've dated a good handful of 24-year-olds, but like
Girl
only
power.
really had what girl power, what? But it just depends. You know, everybody's different. And the older you get,
14 years. Well, what's all that? What was that like? What's the age gap?
it's great. She was fun, but I mean, just couldn't give her what she needed, you know, what she wanted. And it, I mean, and
I
it,
don't know. Like, are you on the south side of this hill or the north side of this?
there's no hill.
Well, the age divide.
Oh, I'm older. Like I'm not dating older chicks, dude. I'm not dating.
Hey, hey, there's some nice ladies out there.
Sure, sure. There are.
Some real nice ladies out there. All right.
You know,
Cheers. Cheers to the older
my
ladies.
ex-wife was an older lady. I just, yeah, you know. But no, man, it's relationships are hard. They're scary. Stuff's, you know, it's just all fucking scary, whether it's good or bad, you know. And I've realized a lot, like,
Is it scary though?
yeah, for me it is.
Or is that just like kind of the right now? You're kind of coming off some stuff.
No, it's always no. It's not just right now, dude. It's
I,
been
I think
like
I think I think
in the
that's
last like
I think
like
I
literally.
think though that you're a 6'7" man. Like, you know what I mean? Like
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That like for the last 9 years, especially like
it's
since
how about like unpredictable. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I'm not changing, like I'm not trying to tell you how to feel per se, but like making it scary all the time makes
it
it scary. Makes it scary all the time. I don't want to
dude,
be scared all the time. I want to be like, oh, I don't fucking know what's gonna happen, right? Like,
Dustin, like I'm just telling you how I've felt and like the like what I've seen in myself, you know, through the shit that I've had to sift through the last 9 years of my life, especially.
and
It's
you're
been a lot of shit, dude. And like, yes, I have constantly felt scared in like almost everything because and I've sabotaged myself in relationships and in like like just like everything. And it's like this is part of like what I'm going through right now in the sense of like trying to identify, address, and fix, you know, like things that I know that have been hindering me.
yeah, but why are you gonna just? You don't have to just always default there, right? To scary. This is all I'm saying, and I'm not saying you specifically. So
No, I know what you're
I think
saying.
you're gonna feel.
I
I think you're
know
gonna
what you're
feel
saying.
exactly
I
what you're gonna feel
understand. This is,
every
I'm
time
just
you feel
telling
it.
you, it's like,
And you're gonna tell me about it, right? Like, and I'm not gonna be able to come in and be like, "Well, you shouldn't feel like that." I'm just saying that, like, that's
well,
like giving ground. That's giving ground up to unpredictable chaos.
when you put yourself out there,
It could be great though too. Like going to slay the dragon, dude, can be scary. You know, I'm just hey, I'm speaking hypothetically, right? Like if you go to a
you
class,
know, I get it, but I don't know what point you're trying to make. So like, I'm just telling you like how it feels when you're putting yourself out there and you're doing stuff and you're going, and you've got this all this shit in your life. You've got a child, blah blah, all this stuff, just like everybody. And it's okay to
no,
feel
I mean, right?
it's
Like
okay to
we're
feel
talking to
scared.
maybe younger. You're giving people advice about stuff, you
It's
know?
okay. Oh, yeah, well, it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel the unknown, but just
Okay, yeah,
like you gotta hone it in, right? That's what I'm saying is like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm like, you know,
Actually, a great quote is that you can't be brave unless you feel scared.
oh sure, yeah, that is a good one. But like I'm just, you know, there's just just a lot of stuff, man. You got to address a lot of stuff. Like I said, mentally, I'm the illest, and I just like I recognize there's a lot of things I've really recognized about myself that I've never been honest with myself about, and I'm just like, well, that sucks. Okay, like how are you gonna fix it now? And then you're like, okay, like literally sitting down and coming up with a game plan to
What are you talking? You brought this up in one of the
fix that.
spots before about like, do you want to talk specifically about what you're talking about? You don't have to. Like
I
so
mean, I'm just going through a
I don't,
mental
I
health,
don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Like something I don't know about myself. Uh, you know,
our mental health is just like our physical health, and I've been neglecting it, and that's what I'm talking about. I've been neglecting it bad, and I've lied to myself about how bad it is. Like, period. And I've caused a lot of havoc, especially the last 9 years in my life because of my mental illness. And I've addressed that and see that, and I just don't want to do it anymore. So I'm fixing it. And like doing that is a tough thing. Being honest with yourself, like psycho cybernetics, like seeing your true self image, like looking yourself in the mirror, like doing all the things that I'm doing, like this and like I mean I journal on like 8 different things and I do all these video recordings and watch them and I do I mean I do like I mean I'm fucking in like I've done therapy for a long time, like talk therapy, all this stuff, all these things, and like actively just trying to get like better and I've finally in the last 6 months, 3 4 months especially, just like addressed like myself and said, okay, like be honest with yourself, really seen my self image and like you know it's not it's not who I want to be, and so I'm gonna like
I guess I just don't get it because I don't see you as from the outside all these things.
yeah I'm not asking you
Well,
to get it.
let me talk for a fucking minute. How about that? That'd be nice. Just that no,
No, if you're gonna
I wanted to give you a compliment. You keep interrupting me. Like
I
you're never gonna be perfect, dude. Like you've done so many solid things along the way to get to where you're at right now. That's worth a little honorable mention about you. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that this is me trying to get because everything you said, I celebrate, dude, and I'm here applauding you. But also, just remember how many wins along the way through the fucking fights you've had to make to get to where you're at, right? Like that's pretty cool too. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm not negating any of that. I'm just talking to you about the things that
That's
are in
just
my mind.
I'm just hearing it. Yeah, okay, so my bad, dude. I was just trying to say like, you know, there's this, every yeah, every time I take the honest look at myself, I really start to say, what are you? You could have done all of this, and instead you did just this, or whatever it is, and then like, but also the grand view is the things along the way that got you to where you are, it wasn't just that negative version because then you kind of get into a cycle. I get into a cycle. Not I was saying you in the general sense. Like I get into a cycle of self-deprecation on a level where nothing I ever do will ever be what it should be when I do it. So that you know what I mean? And it's like I don't know, man. I guess I'm just trying. I got a little, I got a little hippie because
That's not my
you
rhetoric. That's not my rhetoric though.
that's all right now. I'm just kind of getting that. And I'm
Like
like,
I I
you have a
understand what you're
house,
saying.
you got a great daughter, you got a great job. I don't know why you're so mopey, dude. Like you're fucking killing it.
You don't know why I'm so mopey?
Yeah. You got a new girl in your life, You know,
Dude,
you got
like,
all these great things. That's pretty cool. That's all I'm saying.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Can you say hi, Bo? So you going to Michael's wedding?
Love to. Love to, man.
Did
Celebrate
you
that. Those guys, that's a great couple.
did you RSVP?
Oh, I don't know if I got an invite. Did I?
Uh, I'm sure that they send it to your parents or whatnot. You should ask them about it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That's
I
coming
think
up.
that they want that they're supposed to RSVP like by the 28th or something. But it's on a Sunday, so Sybil's gonna have to miss the day of school.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah,
Michael,
no, Dustin, I know
Amanda,
what you're saying.
yeah,
I
man, I'm sorry. I don't
you don't
always
you
have
don't
the
have
words.
to.
This is coming from like a place of love.
No, I understand absolutely, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly. I just like I've never honestly looked at myself honestly in my entire life until now, and so that's just what I'm saying. Like it's a hard thing to do, and it's been pretty profound for me, and like it's good, but I'm like this growth is change is scary, right? And that's all that life is. But like growth like this is like I can't remember what I was reading, but like
Can I say something for past Noah though? That past Noah, 21-year-old Noah, 30-year-old Noah, past Noah isn't you, right? So don't judge him too harshly because he was doing, from my estimation, the best he could with the information he had and the operational situation he was in. You know what I mean? Like that's
I
and everybody makes mistakes and stuff, but you've never been like a bad actor. What? Okay, you get older.
absolutely
Looking back, I do this all the time.
I've
About
absolutely been a bad
how
actor.
well, but not like purposefully to be a bad actor. But look, with hindsight, you're like, oh, I didn't see it the way that now that I see it. Like that's sort of a blessing of where you're at now, you know. And you've always been like self-reflective on some interesting levels about like what you think about things, what you like the interests you take. They're not haphazard, they're not just out of a hat. I don't
I
know.
just,
I don't know why
I,
I'm trying to argue with you about,
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not
I
saying
just
I haven't said any of that. I know I'm a great dude, man.
like
Like
you've never seen yourself your whole life until right now. That's a pretty
not
big
not
statement to
not
make.
not my true self, And I don't think many people ever really do, to be honest with you.
But do you think in 10 years you're gonna look back and say, I had no idea? Like is
No,
that how we're
I'm
wired?
gonna look back and say, man, I'm really glad that I did that, and I've grown every day since because we change every day, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be 21-year-old Noah. I don't want to be 37-year-old Noah. I don't want to be 31-year-old Noah. Like, in the ways that I see that are, detrimental to me, and all the ways that like the mass majority of yourself doesn't change. Like I know I'm a kind-hearted, sweet, caring person, all this stuff, whatever, like people are attracted to me and I all these things, but there's also darkness, man, and like you know, you gotta I've ran a like you just gotta like hit the darkness head on, and it's like it's been tough to do for me, just quite frankly, because I've seen some things that I've lied to myself about for a long time that I that and then I've seen some traumas that I just buried deep that like
You want to talk about that?
no.
Because I don't.
No.
I don't really know how to communicate about it, external,
Well,
externally,
most of it
other than to
is
just kind of listen and then kind of nod, because I don't know what we're talking about. I I kind of get it, but is that like a revelation that we all have darkness inside of us? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean that makes sense. Don't You're not alone there. Every person, every single person.
I'm just talking about my journey. I know, and I've said that several times, like everybody has their shit, you know? But I don't think everybody addresses their shit and they lie to themselves. And I've done it. I've been doing it. And I've caused turmoil for myself and people that have been in my life, important people. And if, like I said, like don't necessarily want to talk about it, but the mass majority of it is like some of the relationships with the women that I've had, and like, you know,
Well,
there's a
let's
whole
talk
deep
about
root,
something else.
there's a whole deep rooted thing in
Let's talk
there.
about something else. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I don't know.
You gonna you gonna hunt this year?
I've been trying to hunt.
Did you get that 30-06 all dialed in and shit?
I did get it dialed in, dude. I had a lot of fun dialing it in actually. Up at the Leasite Hills, kind of like up by Reliance and then all the way to the dunes, up in those weird little spots. Just up top, like I'd like to get it back out though. I've been using small uh, pistols basically, mainly these days, weekly.
Do you have a small caliber rifle?
That's kind of on the list. I just bought a everyday carry 9 mil that I really like. Uh, Really good price on it too, like under $300. So I could kind of get the what do you call that? Like not the case, whatever, but
What brand is it?
it's a Ruger, so not terrible, not the best, not, but Ruger EC9.
Oh, nice. I was looking at that just a couple months ago, actually.
Yeah, man, and it was on Sportsman's had a little sale. I was pretty stoked about that, but yeah, hunting. I think it's more like harvesting meat, my perspective. It's like how crazy the world is. It's like I need to just be able to harvest the meat, dude. And then the hunting stuff, I feel like I love all of that just like almost innately in my bones, dude. Whether it's looking for rocks or if it's going into nature and sort of navigating the experience to like the culminating moment you're looking for or whatever, or when something just comes at you. Yeah, I just have never done that with like the gun on my shoulder and like the elk piss on my back, like
Well, you don't want to put elk piss on
but
I mean, some guys do, but you just smell like elk all day, so you don't know if they're there or not. But you got to just start doing it, and you should get a small calibered rifle and go out and start shooting, and just start shooting rabbits and learn how to clean rabbits. And if you want to harvest abundant, I think that they're on a peak cycle over there, you know, and that's a good way to get out and start hunting and getting some blood on your hands, and then like you can put in for tags over there, and then
blood
I
on
can point you to some places to like, yeah, oh yeah, get a couple rabbits or two.
what would be sweet? I got this book about almost 2 years ago now. Been through it a couple times. So, elementary, my dear Watson, I'm having, but it's on butchering wild game. And I was thinking, how cool would it be if like Western uh community college had a butcher course you could take. You know what I mean? And just like the course, just it wasn't even about necessarily like gutting big game, but it was like making cuts and stuff like that. Like that would be so cool.
Yeah,
Like
but
I would take that in a heartbeat.
they have it in Lander.
Really?
Yeah, you could go do it in Lander. I think it's like it might be a 6 week course. I can't remember what kind of course it is. But yeah, like that would be butchering is definitely a good trade to learn, especially in our neck of the woods, you know. I don't know how to legitly butcher just because, like, I mean, I've just done it for so long that I know I just cut out muscle groups and then cut up the muscle groups. But like, it would be a good thing to learn for sure. We could do our sheep. We need to start doing our sheep, our lambs. I mean,
Right, dude. I feel like the last trip down to wherever we took them, it was literally I looked back at it. It was 12 miles from Skinwalker Ranch where we took the fucking sheep
oh,
to
really?
get butchered, right? And it was just it was brutal, dude. I told
That's why they taste so good this year.
yeah, I told everybody, I was like, don't fucking name the lambs again. If you're gonna name them anything, you have to name them after like a meal. You know, like this is prime rib. You know, this is shank or whatever. But because like when
Yeah, we
I opened the trailer and then like you guys' lambs were all just like like I got out the door. And then the ones that Finley and Elliot every day had gone out and hand fed, you know, they were looking at me like, hey man, what's going on? And then the butcher came out and it was this crazy looking guy who was maybe 32. And I guess he was from what did the lady tell us? He was not Spain, Portugal. He was Portuguese, just blood covering his arms. Like he'd been hacking all day. And have you ever met somebody that just kills animals all day, every day for a long period of time? Like that guys,
yeah.
like it's not, they're not like they're like, well, we gotta kill the next one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was too much, man. So like if yeah, I would be down to like with a humanely like kind of like take the animal out where they're comfortable, where they know. Oh, dude, like in looking, so the trailer opens up, the lambs are going in through like the a run kind of set up into the butcher area, and there's just like literally what you would imagine hell to look like swinging blood hooks. You know what I mean? The smell of your dead fallen, comrades. Like
I mean, you want to eat meat.